Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a set of builder gel nails with a full design. Start off by gently pushing the cuticles back. You don't have to push hard and don't lay the cuticle pusher too flat. It's just to expose a little bit more of the nail plate. Now I'm going to be doing a more thorough prep as well on my cuticles because I will be using a cuticle ball bit today, just to kind of get rid of any dead skin or rough skin on my cuticles because I'm not going to be cutting them. And this is so important because we're doing gel nails and we really want them to stick. I'm just going to come around gently with my ball bit. This doesn't hurt, so you can come up on the skin. That is kind of the idea of it. So it's kind of like an exfoliator. But I'm still going at a low speed though. I'll be using a medium sanding band just to get rid of the shine. And I am literally moving very lightly across the nail. Coming in one direction, low speed. You don't want to go and give yourself a ring of fire. And this is just to mat the surface down. Normally I would use a primer, but I'm not today because I'm using a peel off base coat. But I would definitely recommend that you use primer because that will help you avoid any lifting or any popping off. But just go in with a thin coat and let it dry. I am going to be gluing down the tips with base coat because I find that is much better than using the traditional glue. All I do is just apply a little tiny bit on the inside of the tip and then hold it down in the lamp. And these are the tips from Makartt, by the way. I'm linking everything down below. And if you turn the light on first, it's a little bit easier. And just kind of slide your finger in. Now I want to blend these in a little bit before I put any base coat on. So I am just going to do the side walls real quick. This is that they're fairly sturdy and they haven't really bent a lot when I've applied them. Sometimes these cheaper brands can be a little bit flimsy, but these are quite good actually. Now when that's done, I am just going to go in with my medium sanding band again. And I am not blending on the natural nail. I'm literally coming over the top just before it meets the natural nail. And to make sure that we've got adhesion, I am just going to mat down the surface of the tip as well, because gel doesn't like shiny surfaces. And if you take time and do this properly, you will avoid problems later on down the line. Now I'm just going to do that on all of them, and then I'm going to go in with a lint-free wipe with some alcohol or cleaner on it, and just make sure that we get all the dust out. And we will be using a base coat, and I'm going to apply it to the tip as well as the natural nail. This is a bit thicker than a regular base, it's just because it's one of these peel-off things. Starting at the free edge of the nail first and bringing it down, then pushing gently towards the cuticles, not on the skin, and then coming down at the side walls. I'm going to do that to all 5 and I will give them a full cure. Now we are dealing with some long nails today, and these I am going to be building in layers. If I pile it on too thick, it might not cure or it will give a nice heat spike. And if you've got lots of products and you're trying to do it in all one go, it's just going to run everywhere. And I've got a small amount that I'm kind of working in circular motions. I'm not pulling hard though, you can see I'm kind of just floating my brush over. And I am just going to apply a little tiny bit more because this is a fairly thick viscosity, so it's not running anywhere. So I'm just going to kind of build up a little bit on the nail plate, but again, I'm not trying to build any kind of structure or body on it just yet. Just kind of working in small circular motions, and then when you get to the side walls, you can kind of tease it and pull it down, and then pull it over the tip again to keep it thin. And I will be giving this a full cure because I'm going to come back a second time and continue to build it a little bit. On the ring finger, I am going to extend the nail bed a little bit. I'm not going to do it in like a really sharp V. I wanted it kind of a bit more rounded. Applying a small amount of gel, just in circular motions towards the cuticle, and then coming down towards the side walls. I kind of feather it down a little bit. And then I just kind of pull it into shape at the front. And then make sure you freeze cure it immediately when you're happy with it. But if you're a beginner, get yourself like a good gel that doesn't run anywhere. It will make it a lot easier for you. And I'm going easy on the mount here as well because again, this can cause a nice heat spike if it's too thick. You can wipe your brush off and just kind of wipe around to clean the edges a little bit to make it look a bit cleaner. And when you're happy with it, put it in the lamp and give it a cure. On the middle finger, I am going to do much of the same. I'm going to do a colour block on this with the gel. Because I want to file this to crisp it up a little bit, I always make sure just to bring it below the free edge on both sides because otherwise I won't have any room to file. I have to come up all the way on the nail. I'm just making sure that I tease it in where I want it. And again, just clean your brush off and wipe it if you need to. Both of these nail beds have got to be filed a little bit afterwards anyway, so it's not a big deal. And of course, where we have applied the product sparingly, when they've been fully cured, I am going to go and build them up a second time, so we've actually got some product there. And if you want to file anything like that, you are going to need a bit of a ledge. If it's completely flat, you won't have anywhere to kind of put your file. If you're enjoying this, please give me a like and subscribe and hit the bell even. All I've done first of all is just put a tiny little bit of base coat down that I can put the foil in. The reason I'm using base is because it's the thinnest product I've got, and you don't need builder gel to hold foil down. This isn't as thick as glitter. I'm just going to place a few pieces where I want them. I've kind of used gold and like a bronzy colour because I wanted to make it look a bit like fall. So with some tweezers, I'm just trying to pick them up gently. And I'm going to place them down in the gel. Now I had to put some builder gel down because, like I said, the base coat is too thin to actually hold them. And sometimes you have to work a little bit quick. That means you have to get them on and freeze cure them because they can sometimes bleed colour. And that is really, really annoying. I'm just going to try and kind of hold the curvature of the nail with these flowers. And make sure they don't stick up. I don't want that. And I do recommend that you use tweezers for this because that will save you getting product on your fingers. Now I am going to build a little bit more of the structure. As you can see, I've also started again at the top because I want enough product in the stress area. I'm just going to kind of bring this down like an ombre, so I'm going to kind of feather it down. And I did cure this before I went in with the clear. And then I just went in with a liner brush with some green with a Beetles gel polish just to put a little bit of depth in it. And all I did was just go around the foil and the flowers where I wanted it. Literally just cure that for a few seconds, and then I'm going in with the clear hard gel. So I'm just going to float that over the area that I want it, and I'm going to kind of fill in if I've got any gaps. Just put it on and floated it across and kind of coming down from side to side and just making sure that I pull enough down the sides of the free edge. And again, if you are a beginner, just do it in several layers. There is no need to rush. Now I have got a gel polish kit from Beetles with these fantastic colours, and I just wanted them to make a bit of a background so that the colours will pop a bit. Where I'm doing an ombre, all I'm going to do is I'm going to put the darker one and then the lighter one on top, and I'm just going to kind of blend them together. Don't do them thick though. I did them in two very, very thin coats and cured in between. And I mean, these colours for fall are absolutely fantastic. Just make sure that if you ombre with the brush that belongs to the bottle, that you wipe it off before you put it back down again, otherwise you'll contaminate the colour. I've just put a bit of builder gel down on that and I haven't cured it. And I'm going to be putting down some glitters. I want them to have something to stick down in. Now these glitters came from a set from Amazon as well. And I usually get my stuff from Amazon or AliExpress. All these kind of nail art stuff, they don't need to be anything particularly expensive. Place them where I want it. And I've got these like little super cute leaves. And I bought them off AliExpress, I think. And these like holographic leaves in different colours. And they are so, so pretty. But they are kind of flat, so make sure that you try and push them down as much as you can. And where we've got the red and sort of orange background, I really, really feel that these pop. And this would also be a great design to do on full cover tips. I might do that as well. So if you like full cover tips and gel, like and subscribe. I'm going to sit and play with that and fill that in until I'm happy with it, and then I'm going to give it a cure. First one, I am going to put the pink cover down first. I put a clear layer down. I could have had like a bump in the middle that would have been difficult to kind of blend the ombre in. That's why I say do 2 thin coats of gel polish, and you don't have to go all the way up. You can actually thin the top part as you go, because that means you won't kind of get that harsh line. You don't want to do the opposite either and go all in and just pull everything down over the tip. I had enough gel for a foundation, then I cured it, and then I went in a second time just to make sure that we had enough pink, and that kind of gives me a chance just to perfect the ombre. And I'm going to finish off with doing a full cure before I go in with some clear. So I've applied some clear in the stress area first. Now I'm going to make sure that I stay in the middle of the nail. I don't want everything running all over to the sides. I'm just kind of gently gliding it down the middle. But these are long nails, and they do need a bit more of an apex, and I'm going to put that in the back third. Same as with the cover gel, I have done 2 layers of clear. I wanted to make sure that I encapsulated everything properly and that I got a strong enough apex where I want it. Again, an apex doesn't have to be a mountain, it just needs to be a point of strength on the nail. The same thing applied to the pinky. I needed to add a little bit more gel on that one. Also in the back third to give me an apex. It was a bit flat in the middle, so in order to give it a bit of a nice arch, I've also put a little bit more in the middle of the nail. This will be fixed with filing, so don't worry if it looks a bit bumpy, you'll even that out. It's better to have a little bit too much that you can file off than not enough. Exactly the same as I have with the middle finger. Just left a little strip at the edge of the nail, so I haven't kind of left a great big space. So it's the same procedure as always, just filling the nail in and floating it down gently, leaving that little tiny gap, wiping my brush off, and then just cleaning it so that we sharpen it up. And needless to say, it's been done twice. There are several ways to sharpen up a smile line. One of the most common is to use a file, but you can also cut out with drill bits or use an emery board. If you've got a bit like this or a French smile line cutter, they do sometimes make it a lot easier. And this also gave me the opportunity to smooth the surface a little bit on the nails. So I've just done a real quickie on that. Add some green from the Beetles collection, the Gelpolish. I'm just gonna put it up against that ledge, again, just to give it some depth. Now just cure that for a little while, and I'm gonna go in on top again with just a super thin coat and cure that through. If you make a mess on top, you can just get a brush with some cleaner and wipe it off, or worst case, you can file it off afterwards. It's not a crisis. I'm just going to kind of blend that down a little bit. I've put some gel on there. I'm going to go in with some flowers. And here you can see I haven't really used enough gel, so it's kind of poking up. You can either try to hold it down in the gel or put a little tiny bit more on. Put a few bits of foil in there just to break it up. And you can kind of see on the pinky and the ring finger, I'm kind of moving away from the green and the, shall I say, blue and orange tones to the more intense on my middle and index finger. But I am going to place some of those leaves on this finger as well because I've got room for them. And immediately we get some gel on top. You can really see the result. It emphasises everything. They are so pretty. So I'm going to make sure that I encapsulate that properly. Here I put down a thin layer of gel on top that I just placed some more leaves in. And I'm going to do the exact same thing on my middle finger, but I'm kind of placing a bit more glitter and some darker colours there to get it a bit more fiery. But I mean, these have got like nice sort of multi-dimensional effect to them, especially when you've got all the different colours and then you've got the colours underneath on the nail from the ombre. Now when that's done, I am going to encapsulate these properly. I'm going to bring it up to the ledge and make sure that we get it all the way up the side so we haven't got any gaps anywhere. And I'm going to cure that thoroughly through. Applying a little bit more product on a couple of the nails. I just really want to make sure that we have got a strong enough nail that won't break. Now, there's not much filing to do, luckily enough, but I'm just going to use a tapered drill bit first, just to come around the cuticles. And this is a fine drill bit at a low speed. By using one of these, they give you a really sort of nice flush look. I'm going to go in with a blue barrel bit. Now, it's not a safety bit, so it can be a bit sharp. It hasn't got that rounded head, so just be a bit careful that you don't cut anyone with it. And this is just to kind of remove the final bulk. By coming over the top of the nail like I am and then down the sides, that's going to give it a really nice shape. And I'll also kind of pull the sidewalls in so it looks like a stiletto. And again, a few minor adjustments. And you can see the nails are really starting to take place now. Spend a bit of time when you finish file because that will really make or break the nails. And I always, despite using an e-file, finish off with a hand file just to make sure that we've really got it smooth. Battery in my camera died when I was going to film the final filing with a hand file, but it's the same as I usually do if you've seen any of my other videos. So I'm going to be going in with some gems, but first of all I want to put the top coat down. And I'm using a glossy top coat on some of the nails and on wipes, so we're just going to have to see if that's going to give too much of a slippery surface. I mean, this is really bringing out the colours. They are pretty. Apply this the same as the base coat. You start at the free edge and then work your way up, coming close to the cuticle but not on the skin, and then down at the sidewalls. Now I just flash cure these in between and then I give them a full cure before I do anything else. So I ended up going for some green, and then on the more vibrant nails I'm going to use red. Now I ended up having to actually buff these just a little bit where I wanted the stones, because otherwise they were just slipping around too much, and that's just super annoying. I've decided to try to match the colours of the gems a little bit with the colours that are on the nail. I'm using the Born Pretty glue on like the smaller gems, and I flash cure them straight away when I've got them in position. And of course I want to put several embellishments on, so I did put down a little bit of builder gel. I am just going to sit and place the gems where I want them. And I sometimes go over the top a little bit, but you know, I had so much fun with these, I just couldn't stop. Now the reason I put the top coat on first and try to avoid getting the nail glue on the actual nail is because it mats the gems. And of course the thumb, my pride and joy, I ended up doing that with a matte top coat first. And when I've got everything in place, I am going to give it a full cure so that we are completely sure that the stones stay on. And then we're going to have a look at the final result. Unfortunately the pictures don't do them justice because I can't quite get the details out. The only thing is, I think I might have gone a little over the top with the gems because they are kind of bulgy. But I am extremely pleased with the colours though. I think they turned out really, really nice.